2014 for me was mostly a letdown. The year never exactly hit a peak, and was ultimately forgettable. Coming into 2015, I had high expectations with a slew of games to be excited for. Now 2015 has come and gone, and I can honestly say it lived up to the hype. In 2014, I didn't even think I liked 10 games, but this last year, it was hard to narrow it down to just 10. So, should you buy any of these games? Well, obviously, that's why they made it onto the year-end list. So without further ado, here is Should I Buy Games? Top Games of 2015. First up, we have iDarb at number 10. 2015 was the year of the indie, and no game describes this better than iDarb. With the simple concept of a silly 2v2 basketball type game with sprites, I would have never expected to sink so many long hours into this game. Into the late hours of the night, I would keep telling myself one more game. The thing was, I would say that after just about every game until the sun began to come up. It met the itch, and that's all I could have asked for in a slower part of 2015. Next up at number 9 is Call of Duty Black Ops 3. For the average video game consumer, Call of Duty defines what AAA video games have become. It has dominated year over year and has everyone questioning how long Activision can keep milking this cash cow. When is it going to fall off the edge? Well, with Black Ops 3 being the highest grossing game since 2013, I wouldn't say anytime soon. There's a reason for that though, and it's because nobody gets core shooting mechanics down like Call of Duty. Treyarch has had 3 years to flesh out this package, and does so with flying colors. Every individual part is a full experience on its own, from the decently long campaign, to the ridiculously addicting multiplayer, and the campy, wave-based zombies mode. I can see myself playing Call of Duty Black Ops 3 for months to come, with multiple map packs on the horizon. Next up at number 8 is Rock Band 4. 2015 was also the year of the return of music games. I didn't get around to playing much of Guitar Hero Live, but being in my first semester of college and living with 3 other people, Rock Band 4 seemed like the perfect fit to bring us all together. It did exactly that. Admittedly, Rock Band 4 doesn't boast many new features or a stellar soundtrack, but the addition of all your old DLC tracks and the core gameplay still being fun as ever, we found ourselves playing every night for the month of October. I forgot just how much fun it is to rock out with your full band, and how amazing it felt when you're all playing in harmony and hit the 5-star mark. There just isn't anything like it in video games. Welcome back, music games. Welcome back. Next up at number 7 is Bloodborne. Bloodborne is hard. Like, really hard. Why do I enjoy letting one of the things I love most in life pick me apart for hours and hours? Well, because every time I fell, I learned, and got better and better until I was a saw-wielding badass who didn't take shit from nobody. Bloodborne kicked my ass in all the right ways, and engrossed me in one of the most frightening worlds in games. The characters and sound design were unparalleled, and rounded out Bloodborne into a full experience I won't soon forget. Next up at number 6 is Rainbow Six Siege. Multiplayer shooters dominate the scene in the world of modern gaming. All of them are getting faster, more hectic, and going farther into the future. Rainbow Six Siege ignores all of that, and relies on a slower paced attack-defend mechanic that is unlike anything I've ever played. With a slew of different operators and interesting map layouts, the freedom is there to make each round a new and exciting experience. Nothing feels better in 2015 than finding a group of friends, setting up a plan for infiltration, and executing it perfectly. It's these small doses of adrenaline that make Rainbow Six Siege one of my favorite games of the year. Next up at number 5 is Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain. Oh, Konami. Oh, silly Konami. No news story has been more permeating than the Kojima vs. Konami predicament around Metal Gear Solid 5. That aside, with Kojima officially out of Konami, Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain is his swan song to the series, and a damn fine one at that. No gameplay loop has been more enticing than this in 2015. Every mission carried weight, and going out, gathering resources and troops, going back to Mother Base and cashing in to get your next cool item and repeating, has never felt so intelligently done. None of that matters though without the core gameplay being fun. And not only is it fun, it's ingenious. Metal Gear has always been known for its ridiculous stories, crafted by Kojima, but the story beats are basically non-existent this time around. The real story comes from each individual player's gameplay experience. How you tackle rescuing a high-profile recruit from an enemy base will be completely different than anyone else's, and that's something special. Not only is the gameplay amusing, it makes you feel smart. It respects your intelligence to figure things out on your own, and does zero hand-holding, something that is extremely lacking in 2015. I just can't wait to see what Kojima does next at Sony. Next up at number 4 is Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. Nobody still seems to be talking about this game. In a year chock full of multiplayer and vast open world games, I was itching for a single player experience to get lost in. Open world experiences are fine, but I want to be told a singular story for once, something that made me feel. Only one game did it better than Everybody's Gone to the Rapture in 2015, which I'll talk about later. In Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, you can probably assume everybody's gone to the Rapture, and you're left to see the stories unfold of how it happened. The gameplay is as deep as walking following an orange wisp, but that's all I could have wanted. The story and characters you were seeing stood on their own to keep you walking from point A to point B. I put headphones in and got lost in this unique experience like nothing else in 2015, and by the end, I let out a long sigh and thought. No game really made me think in 2015, except Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, and the Chinese Room should be commended for their work on this beautiful game. Next up at number 3 is Fallout 4. Yeah, I know it's ugly. Yeah, I know it's basically Fallout 3 with a few things tacked on. The thing is, I'm okay with that. As somebody who's never played Fallout 3, this is a completely new experience for me. I sunk 70 hours into Fallout 4 and enjoyed every second of it. At no point was I blown away, but I sure did get lost in this world. Bethesda is unparalleled in grabbing me and pulling me in for countless hours, and they should be commended for that. The story was my favorite out of any Bethesda game, and that was enough for me to keep going. Not to mention the interesting side quests, awesome companions, and tuned first-person shooting that, well, made the game playable. There's been a lot of backlash on Fallout 4, but I still look back on my time with that game with such great fondness for keeping me company on long, boring weekends that I can't find much to complain about. Coming to the end of the list, at number 2 is Rocket League. Rocket League was the surprise hit of the year for me. It's weird to think about now how little buzz surrounded that game with how undeniably popular it still is. It being free on PlayStation Plus the month it came out only stoked the fires. Every one of my friends was playing it for months after its release, and those close matches, amazing shots, and hilarious antics made it why it's so high on my list. With games relying so heavily on graphics and story now, it's refreshing to get a reminder of what's king: gameplay. Rocket League just felt so good to play, and with developer Psyonix constantly adding free updates, the community will be playing Rocket League for years and years to come. Rounding out the list at number 1 is Until Dawn. I was blown away by just how good Until Dawn turned out. Starting out as a PlayStation Move game for the PS3, and then later revamped for the PS4, stripping away the move mechanics and basically changing everything about the game, it's safe to say I was surprised. As I said about Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, all I want is more single-player experiences. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture did it beautifully, but Until Dawn straight up had me addicted to the very end. I played handing the controller off with my roommate Armand from chapter to chapter, and it was the most fun I've had playing video games since 2012's The Last of Us. It was ridiculously fun to go from chapter to chapter, attempting to save everyone, being pissed when somebody died, and then pushing forward. Until Dawn definitely has some flaws. The gameplay can be fickle and frustrating, but the story, characters, voice acting, sound design, and decision making make Until Dawn my favorite game of the year, and possibly one of the best experiences I've ever had playing video games. 2015 was a fantastic year, and you should definitely check out any of these games if they struck your fancy. Now, it's time to look into the future and focus on the amazing year ahead in 2016. With that in mind, always remember, let me waste my money so you don't have to.